Well, the comics, man. I mean, yeah, I started reading them. I haven't read them all yet. There's a lot of them, but I just started reading them and using the source material, and then I've got this thick moleskin book of just all my John Constantine stuff with images and little different lines that I use and from the comics and stuff, and just gleaning as much as I can from the source material. It's funny. I've been told for years and years by a friend of mine who was a big comic book fan. He's got his own comic book company now called Improper Books, and they got some good stuff. And he'd been telling me for years John Constantine's my favorite, comic book character, the Hellblazer stuff. And then when I got the audition, he was like, sat me down, man, and took me through the ringer. He was just like, right, okay, he's got to be like this. And so, yeah, he's like my worst critic.
Did you have to work on the accent though, because you were?
My accent's different, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, a lot of people.
That's been like the fandom's first play.
Yeah, a lot of people have been saying that I'm using my own accent. I'm not using my own accent. The funny thing is, Liverpool is right next door to Wales.
Yeah.
It's like literally, But the thing is, I thought about doing a full-on Liverpudlian accent, but you'd have to put subtitles on it for American television. You would for a full-on Welsh accent as well, and so I kind of came up with the idea that he's from Liverpool, like I'm from Wales, but then I left Wales when I was 19, and then I've travelled, so my accent isn't as thick as it would be if I was still living in Wales. So I applied that to John. It's like he was born in Liverpool, he was brought up there, but then he moved away. So we've taken the basis of that accent and the vowel sounds and the consonants, and then just flattened it out. And then some of the vowel sounds are actually similar to the Welsh vowel sounds because they're right next door to each other anyway. So it's kind of a more accessible kind of travelled accent.
How tough was the grueling was the audition process?
It was quite tough, man. Yeah, I was doing a play in London, and I was doing a Shakespeare play, Henry V in London. I had long hair and a big beard, and when I did my first tape for it, they were just like, yeah. Daniel and David really liked me, but then some other people were like, I don't see it because of the beard, and so I went through this whole process. Had to wait for the play to finish, and then flew over to LA, chopped all my hair off, shaved the beard, and I went from there.
Which of the characters you enjoyed interacting with most on screen so far?
I'd say Manny, because they've got this great. They're both kind of manipulators, and they're both kind of trying to get one up on each other all the time. But there's also a mutual respect for each other. So there's this kind of dance, this toe-to-toe dance that they're doing all the time. They're uneasy allies, and I think that makes for a really interesting dynamic and interesting kind of conflict between the two of them.